How is everybody?
Doing great.
No, wait to see what they do.
Oh.
I wanted to show you guys movement and what it feels like. So you can put these up on your arm.
How does it go into your
Squeeze it. Ooh. Isn't that neat? You feel movement?
Yeah.
It feels really good. I want you to feel. Yeah, your hand goes in. Just squeeze that down. Your hand goes in between.
That has to be unrolled from
What?
Good, I understand.
But I also want to show you, is that, no, see, this is touch, okay? This is perfect, this is touch. Do you see how, with movement, you don't know where one begins and one ends. And this is what I really wanted to show you with this. And how nice it feels when this movement transfers. I was so excited when I found this sucker.
Like they gently.
It's kind of a wave.
Well, that's what movement is. It's a wave. It's a motion. And now, but I want you to also feel how pleasurable movement should be and what your kids should feel. And also look at how many people of you guys are just naturally coming together now. Just see how this is what kids do. You know, this is how children play. And they want to be a part of someone else because it's more fun to move as a team than it is by myself. So when a child really wants to be solitary, I'm talking about a child, not, like 10, 15. Yeah, again, that you want to go off and read a book or something. But that's not normal. Nor is it normal that a lot of our kids have inclusion. It's just, and once the movement happens, I don't have to sit there and pay attention to it. It just shouldn't be work.
You stay here.
Oh, it's really good.
Oh, yeah. So something different.
Start playing with it.
Yeah.
But it's.
So you can keep transferring the big stuff.
Yeah, ते तसं ते पूर्ण राऊंड दिलेलं आहे. नुसतं असं प्लेन आणि मूवमेंट नाही आहे.
Rotations off, the rotations off.
Oh yeah, that's a good example.
Yeah, see?
With the rotation not happening, you can't go into the other person without it, right? We were stuck. With the rotation,
So does this got one board? Oh, look, now we have a team going.
Yeah.
But that's how the world is connected, not by the internet, but through movement. It really, we should do a big circle, but
But if you stop that rotation, it's just like,
right. But also, what's interesting, what I want to show you, when you put this on your arm now, if I were to just touch, this movement not going anywhere. But if I'm touching someone, do you see how that transfer of weight, that's
always with the rotation, yeah.
But this I really want to show you how movement is in our system. But this, it's just a bracelet. So just try that, just so when I touch her, it might always move this way, but if I go here and work and here, and you'll see me move, but this,
This is so
yeah, I really wanted you guys visually to not only feel, but see movement.
only when we see it happening. Yeah. Yeah. Because you've got X-ray vision.
Yeah, I know, I do
See
have
it
X-ray
going
vision.
through the system, but yeah.
You would like to take it home?
Yeah,
Trying to take it home.
Where did you get it from, Michelle?
Amazon. My wife's in Amazon. God bless Prime.
Can you tell me where? Like, I think I can.
We can get it for
It's
us.
written on this.
What?
At vertical vortex.
Oh, okay. I'll look it up.
You're getting one, so you can. But I'm not giving them out to everybody, but.
Thank you.
Not suitable for children under the age of 6.
Even if
Now
just
we understand the
experience
rotation
like,
better
even
with
experience
this,
it
yeah.
just on your arm, vertical vortex.
Not only that, but
just start thinking.
look at how excited and how you guys are giddy. Because movement should feel this pleasurable. Look at how much you guys want to work and play with this because it feels good and it's fun. If this thing had little daggers on it and barbs, you wouldn't be touching it. You know what I mean? It should be just pleasurable to be a kid and to have fun and play with it. But I really want these things to demonstrate. Create a whole dance on them.
Yeah.
Just kind of playful.
Yeah.
If we give it to our children also to kind of,
Right.
would that help?
Why not? That's what kids learn. And then they'll want a bigger one, and then they want a smaller one, and then they want one that's blue, and then they want one that's red, and that's you know. And then they decide that they only want blue things. And when my sister would do that, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy to have the red. This is all I want. And then she'd get jealous, and then she'd take the red back. Look, now it's blue. Now, here, look, just curious. Evolutions. You've come up with a great idea, and then in 3 seconds it goes farther.
Rotate. Go more. Yeah.
See how the two principles of rotation work together to create the movement.
Okay, now. Release.
It will reach, keep it tight, just pull it.
No, she
Keep it
was
tight.
playing with the release of the rotation to make it also move. Neat, huh?
So if I just give a little momentum, it's going.
Yeah, but also without movement, you don't have movement.
Yeah. Can I try? It's movement yoga.
Movement yoga. Oh, we can name it.
No, like I was saying to someone, that's what's funny, that I do rotation and my name's Turner.
But as we keep doing it just on our arms,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
what happens is we ourselves get this kind of more and more into the rotation to move it faster. You know, the acceleration that you talk about through the system,
Yeah.
it just keeps getting better and better and this goes faster.
And today I was going to talk about them more. Most people believe in the 5 senses: touch, smell, all of those that we learned since we're kids. I refer to those as topical senses. I believe that the human body, to format correctly, goes on subsenses. And the subsenses, and this stuff I'll have down in writing too, but the subsenses are obviously the gravity that we were talking about, the opposition to gravity, balance, counterbalance, and the rotation is more of a principle of movement, I get that, but there's a rate of accelerations in our body. And this is what we're going to talk about today with the spine and the pelvis, because if a child has, I hate to say it, a slow butt, the rest of the system is going to reflect that. So when the The whole pelvis, I believe, as you're just seeing here, is actually a gyroscope. So a lot of the foundations, what people look at as quote core, I really think are a complete fallacy. And honestly, the more the people that believe in it, the more they're going to be a client of mine for life. The pelvis, just like any kind of a sphere, needs to react just like a gyroscope. This goes back into pure fundamentals. You're spinning at a certain amount. We're based off of atoms. So therefore, we are actually counter-spinning or counting rotation the Earth's gravity. The reason we know that, because if we jump up in the air and come down, I'm not smacking into the wall because the Earth is actually going that fast. But we're also made up of, millions of atoms, and these atoms are all working with this force. So why do you have someone that's got a billion atoms that are quote of movement and they can't move? And as you can see, just by adding this to your life, everyone was just moving so much, not only more, but differently than they're used to doing because of the rotation. But again, if I don't do the rotation, it'll move. It's a lift, but going into, you guys didn't get to play. They took your toys. Oh, there's one right there. Just put it on your arm. So we were showing the movement. And yeah, no, this guy I can just have a ball with. So when we're dealing with the spine, and that'll be my other show and tell we'll do after lunch. I have a wave diagram, so we'll set it up. Most people think about movement as a single wavelength. So the way I kind of change that and looking at that is that if you throw a rock into a pond, that ripple goes out in all directions. And then if there's another rock in the pond, that wave hits. But again, think of that though as through your topical senses. All you're seeing is a surface. That movement is going throughout that body of water. So our systems are anywhere from 65 to 85% water. Babies have a much higher water content than adults do. So when you're touching, that's where I bought the vortexes and stuff. I want you to start realizing that you're not touching skin. You're touching a system, and it's a little conceptual and to think that three-dimensional, but you're impacting organ function, heart function, circulatory function, lymphatic. I can't get rid of cancer, I get it, but I still can have that system functioning here with Parkinson's, with all of that, even though it's a neurological disorder versus what the system wants to do. Most obvious is diabetic and chemoneuropathy. That's not a neurological neuropathy, that's a man-made neuropathy. So you have a sugar surge one day or a chemo surge, and these are your fine capillaries. The sugar blocks them, so the brain goes, that's dead to me. Very similar to putting casts on a child. You'll see that atrophy start to happen. I have to go in there and go, okay, that was a bad day, sugar's all gone, toes do work, and they go, okay. But if you allow that conversation of inability or lack of movement, however your brain wants to start looking at it, then the brain is going to believe it. So it's a physical problem that now becomes a psychological problem. So to look at a newborn or a baby, whether they've had even just severe trauma, that doesn't mean that brain doesn't want to learn. None of you are here because you don't want to learn. You're here because you want to learn. And even if you only learn this much or something that affects your life's just changed. And that sounds a bit philosophical. Why am I stuck? But it just is. And do I want my son? He was a perfectly good kid. I vaccinated him and I lost him in 24 hours. I wish it never happened, but at the same time, it did. And with lemons you make lemonade. I don't know. He's my catalyst. But the joy comes too, you know, a couple of parents came up to me, and I don't know if they want to say something, but did you guys, any of you guys play with it? Some of them really just had some nice time with it, with their children, and I don't know, do you want?
Yeah. Yesterday I tried this with Karthik and I enjoyed it. I was on my way to Gateway of India, so I was trying this out of in taxi. He anyway missed me from the morning. He was like hug me all those. So I tried it and really liked it, and I could feel the lightness. And after I did it, my husband was sitting in the front seat, so I asked him actually to feel at Karthik's feet and see how light it is. I did for the left leg. He felt it was light. He's like, maybe he's relaxed, that's why his left leg is right. He's loose. Husbands don't.
Yeah.
Okay. So I made him touch the right leg and feel how it is.
Yeah.
It was tight. It was little, whatever. It was not going, it was not rotating in
Right.
language, whatever. So I did it for the right leg for almost half an hour, I think. I was touching, pressing, all this. A little bit of rotation, and you could feel the lightness in the leg. Like turned my leg, you know.
But like I said, you know, two people here really went through a lot to organize this. So you know, Swati and Jasmine, and it's a lot of work to do all of this. But I'm really glad that you guys, I think, are doing really well. Do we have any questions from yesterday before I really get started? If you're all good.
I
Cool.
called
See?
someone to fix this, the buzzing.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I wonder if it's backbeat?
Your mic?
Oh, it's not even on now. Probably ran out of battery from yesterday.
Just above my head, so
I have a question.
Yes,
Sometimes, you know, you were using two hands,
right?
okay, and working both. Sometimes you're using one as only a support and you're working only with one.
Right.
Is there a way to make a choice?
Yeah, we'll go into that more with the spine. And first of all, I always use two hands because if not, more of my body. I have really learned, first I used to say it's establishing a sacrum for the vestibular. But again, using more and more of these concepts, I believe the more I'm touched or I'm available making contact with that system, like you guys discovered yesterday, there's sort of like a magnetic force where that attraction occurred, and someone actually, they start seeking to you, you know, and wanting to be a part of your system. So the more you understand movement, your movement vocabulary then goes into somebody else's system. So, thanks. It was the. So, you'll never see me, do one-handed, first of all, because again, just like this is why I did this. You know, if like you did with the cloth, when I'm working with someone, it's like there's strings in my hand, or however you want to visualize it. So you'll see that movement. The more you watch me, it's I don't know, it's as if I'm touching my fingers, but that's my visualization process. So I'm moving that motion, so this hand takes it and then brings it back. And so it might just be here, but I'm thinking of, again, like a pull back and a push in versus a very topical touch. And that'll, I guess, become more clear. So even if you're on the pelvis and on the head, you know, this just doesn't feel right, but see, the movement's going here and the movement's going here. But to sit there and rotate even where the foot goes in, and at the same time a head comes up and come in like that. Again, this movement is connected in a sense, it looks prettier, but it also feels prettier. And when someone just feels better, just like you guys playing with these things, this is like instant joy. Because all of a sudden you're feeling and moving with something, but again, there's no judgment. It's reflecting, as your happiness increases, so does the movement of the object. And as you get better at it, you know, first you're kind of like, you know, it was hard to get from one hand to the other, but as you get better at something, it just, again, is more pleasurable to the mind, to the system. It's instant gratification, movement and touch. Whereas, you know, no offense, I can sit there and study for 5 hours. If I can't apply it right away, and why am I doing, you know, the brain doesn't get that endorphins.